Don't fall into the trap of quitting your antidepressants because you're feeling great. Whether you're new to taking antidepressants or you're a Prozac pro, please heed this warning about mistakes from someone who's made them for you. If you're suddenly feeling loads better after regularly taking antidepressants, do not react by thinking to yourself, "Oh, I feel brilliant. What do I need antidepressants for?" Do not then follow up that thought by leaving your box of Fluoxetine in the cupboard and letting it gather dust, declaring that you're all better and will never need meds again. You will crash. You will feel absolutely awful. You will find yourself fallen apart, so exhausted you can't muster the motivation to put yourself together again. Then, in desperation, you'll go back on your meds, go through all the rubbish side effects again, and feel pretty silly for coming off them in the first place. You know all this. It's not new information. And yet the second you feel good, it's easy to fall into the trap of throwing meds out of the window because hey, you're all better, right? I've fallen into the trap. I did it quietly, without mentioning it to anyone. Running low on meds, I told myself that I didn't really need them. I had been going through a tough time and those green and white pills had lifted me out of it. Now I was out of that bad bit, I could carry on without them. So I stopped taking my pill every day, just to see what would happen. I quickly fell into a pit of anxiety, suicidal thoughts, and self-hatred. Great. I have no idea why I decided to do this despite knowing full well that suddenly stopping meds is a bad idea. The funny thing is, I've seen other people do the exact same thing. I watched my mom stop taking antidepressants, quickly crash, then have to go straight back on the pills, and felt vaguely irritated at the time. Why stop in the first place when the meds were helping? I promised myself I'd never do the same thing. And then I did. I think the temptation to stop taking medication comes from a discomfort with taking them in the first place. I didn't plan to take antidepressants when I went to my GP. I hated the idea of being dependent on a pill, and worried about taking something that could change my thoughts and feelings. I had my heart set on therapy, but when I was told I'd be on a waiting list of at least 6 months, I realized I really couldn't carry on feeling as low as I was feeling. Antidepressants were the only option, so I took them. But I was always looking for a way out. I didn't want to be a person on medication. I saw them as a quick solution that I could dump once I finally got CBT. So when I could justify not taking them, I stopped taking them. Simple. I'm glad I did that, though, just so I could understand firsthand how dangerous this pattern can be, how hard you drop after months of feeling good, how heavy things quickly feel. That, along with the embarrassment I felt admitting to my GP that I'd had a blip, he figured it out when I popped for a top-up weeks after I should have run out, convinced me to never suddenly stop taking my pills ever again. If I decide that I don't want to be on medication anymore, I'll talk to a professional about how to slowly taper off. But when that time comes, it won't just be because I'm feeling better. Because feeling better is a sign that antidepressants are working. When you're riding the high of an improved mental state, it's tempting to make dramatic calls and declarations of your health. But here's the thing, if you're suddenly feeling better a few months into taking meds, it's probably not a coincidence. It's down to taking your medication. So don't bloody stop. Think about it like this. Let's say you had a chronic physical illness that caused your leg to be in constant pain. Your doctor prescribed pills, you kept taking them, and suddenly, your pain stopped. You wouldn't just give up the pills, you'd understand that feeling great isn't evidence that your pain was a momentary crisis, but evidence that the treatment plan is actually having an effect. Porn star August Ames sent heartbreaking text to friend weeks before her suicide. 10 celebrities who actually hit the nail on the head when talking about mental health. There are 5 types of anxiety and depression. How to help someone who is having a panic attack. It's bizarre that we don't think in the same way when it comes to mental health medication. And that's likely because so many of us are uncomfortable with the idea of being on pills for our mental well-being long-term. We don't like the idea of needing something to feel okay, mentally. So, Just to be clear, a reminder, there is absolutely nothing wrong with needing medication to feel decent. You are not weak, or a failure, or just not trying hard enough if medication is essential. You don't have to justify taking it by saying it's just a stopgap measure. There's nothing shameful about needing mental health medication for a long time. If something's working for you, and if you're feeling better, it probably is, keep doing it. Mental well-being isn't about quick fixes. It's rarely the case that you can do a couple of things and then you're all fixed, everything's great, you've filed away your mental illness, checked the "I'm okay" box, and can move on as if nothing happened. Feeling better is an ongoing process. Looking after yourself takes time. And it's okay if medication is part of that. Don't give up on meds the second they start working. Stay with it. See if you can feel even better. And when you're thinking of coming off the antidepressants, chat to your doctor about a safe, healthy way to do it rather than deciding you're all done, chucking the pills, and trying to swan away and pretend nothing happened. It doesn't work and it's not a fun experience, trust me. This article is part of Getting Better, a weekly series about my journey through getting help with my mental health. You can read all previous Getting Better posts here, and check back next Monday for an update on how everything's going. More simple ways to make the festive period less awkward for people who aren't drinking. More, here's what to expect when you come off antidepressants. More, I may need mental health medication forever, and that's okay.